My adolescent son asked me to help him with my hands. After taking off my pants, I was shocked on the spot. Hi everyone, I'm Shixie. Today I want to talk to you about something I encountered recently that almost shattered my three views. I am a single mother. My husband left us because of an accident when my son was still young. Over the years, I have been raising my son alone. My son is 14 years old this year and is an adolescent. This child usually looks very honest and his academic performance is also acceptable, but his personality is a bit introverted and he doesn't like to communicate with me. I always feel that the child has grown up and has his own ideas, so I don't take it too seriously. That day, I finished my work ahead of time, so I thought about going home early and making a delicious meal for my son. I opened the door with joy, and the house was quiet. I called my son's name a few times, but no one answered. I thought that he might be doing homework in the room, so I walked towards his room quietly, wanting to give him a surprise. The moment I pushed open the door of his room, I was stunned. I saw my son sitting on the bed, his pants down to his ankles, holding something in his hand, looking panicked. My mind was blank at the time, and I didn't know what to say. When my son saw me, he was so scared that his face turned pale, and he quickly pulled up his pants. I stood blankly at the door, feeling mixed emotions. After a long while, my son stammered, "Mom, why did you come back suddenly?" I opened my mouth, but didn't know what to ask, and finally said, "What are you doing?" My son lowered his head and stammered without saying anything. I came to my senses and realized that this might be a normal reaction of my son during adolescence. I quickly retreated, returned to my room, sat on the bed, and my mind was in a mess. I thought I have to have a good talk with my son, but I didn't know how to start. After a while, my son knocked on the door gently and walked in. He lowered his head, didn't dare to look at me, and said, "Mom, I'm sorry." I looked at him, feeling distressed and helpless. I asked him to sit next to me, took a deep breath, and said, "Son, Mom knows you've grown up and started to have your own little secret." Mom didn't mean to intrude just now. My son still kept his head down and said nothing. I continued, "You are an adolescent now, and your body will undergo many changes, which are normal. Mom also knows that you may be curious about some things, which is also normal. However, some behaviors, although physiologically, are normal reactions, but in terms of morality and social norms, we need to pay attention to them." I paused and continued, "Like what you just did, this is actually a form of masturbation. Masturbation is a behavior that many people have during adolescence and even in adulthood. It itself does not cause much harm to the body as long as it is not excessive. However, we must pay attention to the occasion and method, and we cannot do such things in inappropriate places." My son raised his head with a hint of doubt in his eyes and said, "Mom, what's going on? Why am I like this?" I patiently explained, "Son, during adolescence, the level of testosterone in your body will rise, which will make you curious and impulsive about sex. This is a natural reaction of the body. Just like when you see some beautiful girls, you may have a good impression, which is normal." I continued, "But we can't just be controlled by physical impulses. We also need to have correct values and morals. For example, we must respect ourselves and others, and we can't do such private things in public, or we are caught by others. Moreover, excessive masturbation may affect your study in life, making you listless and unable to concentrate." My son nodded and said, "Mom, I know I was wrong. I just feel curious and sometimes I can't control myself." I touched his head and said, "Mom understands you, son. In fact, Mom also knows that this topic is a bit sensitive, but we can't avoid it. If you don't understand anything or have any confusion in the future, you can tell Mom. Although Mom is a woman, she also knows some knowledge and will give you the right guidance." I continued to tell him, "Son, sex is a beautiful thing, but it is also very private and serious. It's best not to have sex before you become an adult. Because sex not only involves physiological problems, but also involves responsibilities and emotions. Premature sex may bring a lot of trouble to you and the other person, such as accidental pregnancy, sexually transmitted diseases, etc." My son opened his eyes and listened to what I said. I continued, "Moreover, respect and trust are very important in a relationship between the sexes. You must respect the wishes of girls and not force them to do anything they don't want to do. Similarly, you must protect yourself and not be easily overwhelmed by desire." I also told him some knowledge about sexual health, such as paying attention to personal hygiene, washing the genitals every day, and keeping them clean. If you find any abnormalities in your body, such as genital itching, pain, secretions, etc., you must tell your mother in time and go to the doctor. My son listened to me and nodded seriously. I looked at him, and a big stone in my heart finally fell to the ground. I know that although this accident shocked me, it also gave me an opportunity to communicate with my son about sexualness. Since then, the relationship between my son and I seems to have changed. He began to be willing to share some of his thoughts and feelings with me. Although he is still a little shy, I can feel that his trust in me is increasing. Family members, through this incident, I also want to tell everyone that as parents, we cannot avoid the issue of children's sex education. When children are in puberty, we should take the initiative to communicate with them and give them the right guidance. Let them understand their bodies and establish the right sexual concepts. In this way, they can grow up healthily and happily. Well, that's all I have to say today. I don't know if you have ever encountered a similar situation. Welcome to communicate with me in the comment area. We'll talk again next time. Bye.